Hi, I'm Jessica Shaver, and today I want to talk to you about kids with ADHD, attention deficit hyper disorder, and the medications that they prescribe children for it. I am personally against medicating a child with ADHD, and I hope by the end of this I will be able to convince you or persuade you away from the medications as well. As Dr. Peter Breggin states, children resist boring, routine, rote, or meaningless tasks. Treating a child with ADHD entails giving them stimulants such as Adderall or Ritalin. These medications have amphetamines in them. And according to Dr. Roy Brady, about these medications in children, key problems to look out for are sleep problems, decreased appetite, delayed growth, headaches, stomach aches, rebound, tics, moodiness, and irritability. So let's break that list down and look at a couple of these side effects. Sleep problems? Who's had a kid that can't sleep? I know I don't like dealing with it. How about you? Decreased appetite? Well, if a child has a decreased appetite and they're not eating properly or getting the nutrients that they need, then their growth is delayed. Why would you give a child anything that's going to delay their growth? How about those headaches and stomach aches? Well, okay, the child is focused now, but they're in pain. Really? Finally, let's talk about moodiness and irritability. So first you have a child that doesn't focus well. Maybe they bounce around, maybe they can't sit still, maybe they are very loud and boisterous and hyper and happy children. And maybe they need extra directions given. And now they don't feel good. And they're moody. And they're irritable. Personally, I'd rather have my child happy and bouncing off the walls than be moody and irritable. I don't know about you, but I'd rather redirect a child than have a hateful child. And how about that isolated or zombie-like experience that some children feel? As Swanson states, drug-induced compliant behavior may be also accompanied by isolated, withdrawn, and over-focused behavior. So listen, I've got a 12-year-old boy, and I've tried it all, but those drugs, they gave my bright, happy little boy at 5 years old and turned him into a shell of a child, and I hated every minute of it. So I did my own research. According to Nasrallah, one study demonstrated that adults can develop atrophy of the brain after being treated with stimulants as children. Brain atrophy. According to the NIH, that means that this is a loss of neurons and the connections between them, meaning parts or all of the brain shrinks. That on top of zombie-like child was enough for me to say no more. So, what did I do? Every year, I talk to the teachers. I make a plan with every single teacher. You have to be dedicated. I talk to every single one of them. We talk about the fact that he can't sit still at his desk sometimes. We talked about redirecting and getting him involved in more activities during school. I also got him involved in sports, soccer, basketball, anything it took. Hunting, fishing. He doesn't sit at the table sometimes. Actually, most times he doesn't sit at the table. He stands. Who cares? Why would I want a zombie? Why would you want a zombie? Why not have your kid happy and standing at the table and telling you about his day instead of sitting there and half knocked out all the time? It's not worth it. These drugs aren't worth it. He's 12 and he has A's and B's. Yes, sometimes I get phone calls home about his behavior. Sometimes he's rude. Sometimes he's too loud. And sometimes he doesn't follow directions. But he can be redirected, and he understands his responsibilities and the consequences that go along when he doesn't follow the rules. Anybody can find some kind of outlet that doesn't involve drugging a child that could change the way their brain works, the way their whole life runs, based on not having that medication. Anything. Those silly little spinner toys that these kids have. My son's gone through 3 Rubik's Cubes. Who cares? He's not a zombie, and I'm proud of that.